Hello! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read of this channel, my channel is James13 Wicca, so on YouTube that's what it should be. I think it's the same thing on Instagram, just to be fair. For this installment, I'm using for the Tarot Astro Matrix. There's the box, and I know that there's a website on here. It's on the back. astromatrix.org. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and the website's at the bottom. I believe it's hayhouse.com. hayhouse.com, yeah. And I also use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool. And I use a 14-sided dice to choose for the minor arcana, Ace through King, 14 being the King, I want to say. I'm going to say. And then a 4-sided dice to choose the element. Those came from, they were a gift, from mathartfun.com. So I think you can get all those different types of dice there. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Alright, I think we're set. Alright, so if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And now, on to your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid from whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Slap, slap. Yeah, it's a Judgment card, but it does got a very strong Phoenix vibe at the moment, which is not a bad thing. I used to be more warm and fuzzy with the Phoenix vibe, but I've accepted. The Phoenix vibe is very beautiful. It rises, burns very bright, but it does burn out, and it does crash to the ground, and it's a cyclical thing. So I feel like before we get too far into this, I feel like we're acknowledging that whatever the situation is, it does that. It burns really bright, burns out, crashes to the ground, and then starts over anew. And it just keeps going in this cycle. So it's also one of those things, in my opinion, many times once you realize this cycle is happening, you can choose to continue, but you don't have to continue. You can exit at some point if you don't really care for this cycle. The Phoenix is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful bird, very beautiful. I get that. But it's like, it is a cycle thing. Keep that in mind. So whatever this is, that's what we're dealing with. And it's been for the best at times. It has. Doesn't mean you have to continue it for the rest of your life, though. So, because we're coming to the part where it's starting to go down again. It's starting to burn out. This might be your time to exit if you want to. Keep that in mind. I'm saying that, and I'm like, it's coming very soon. Let's see. The Devil card. Well, they're not playing around, are they? The Devil card with the Queen of Swords reversed. The situation, again, I was talking to it, but I wasn't showing you the card. It has the Phoenix going on here, which again does that same cycle: burn bright, burn out, crash to the ground, start the process again. I feel like you know this. If you look at the situation, you can see where it's gone through this cycle. It reminds me of like going through the changing of the seasons. Like when you have the warm weather, then it gets cold, then it gets really cold. Then it starts to get warm again, then it gets really warm, then it starts to get cold. It goes through the cycle, like that type of thing. And I'm also getting, it's not like it's a bad thing. I don't think anybody's saying it's a bad thing. Like, it's a natural cycle. I'm getting like, it does what it needs to do. It doesn't mean that you have to stay connected with this for the rest of your life, though. It could be like, I've known people, like, it's making me think of like people who've done work in hospice and done it for like 10 to 15 years. and then they're like, you know what, I think I've done all I need to do. I need to change and do something else. They did good. They did great. Maybe they were great at that job. But it gets to a point where they're like, you know what, I think I've done enough. I need to do something else. This is becoming a bit much. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing to be a part of, but it may be that, your connection, you don't have to do this for the rest of your life. And I'm seeing this and I'm like cringing a little bit because you're starting to see it come around again. That moment is starting to show itself. It's starting to burn out. It might be in that spot where it's kind of still burning bright, but it's also showing signs where it's going to burn out. That it's like fall is coming, if you will. Fall is starting. When that first fall starts to come in, and you're starting to see the little hints that winter's coming. You start to get a frost overnight and stuff like that. It's like maybe warm and nice during the day, but like the frost overnight has shown some things have changed. Maybe some leaves have changed. The colors on the leaves have changed. Stuff like that. It's starting to show itself. Is it a nervous energy? Is it a nervous energy? Aquarius is pretty smart, so I don't think you're expecting to stop fall from coming, stop winter from coming. I don't think any of you would even, it's going to happen. I feel like you're very much on point, I'm not going to think that I have control of the universe and I can stop winter from coming. But I'm also getting I don't really want it to happen. I feel like this is one of those moments where I'm like, I feel like I have to be here for it, but I don't really want to go through this process again. You got the Empress half in, half out, and you got the Four of Pentacles. Kind of I see it coming. I don't really want to do this again, but I feel like I have to. The truth is, though, you don't have to. And I feel like this reading is probably going to try to wake you up to. If you choose to and you decide to, and you're like, I'm going to, then that's your choice, and that's fine. But they're trying to point out that you do have a choice. There's a lot going on here. I'm trying to understand all this stuff. Because you got two kings. You got the King of Swords and you got the King of Cups. And you also have this, which actually is showing up over here. This is how it's showing up on the table. You got good connections, good community connections, a lot of intellect going on here, a lot of strength going on, a lot of caring people. So it's a good situation, which nobody's saying the situation, it needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it. But there's a lot of levels here that makes this a little bit more, makes it a little bit more binding, hard to let go of it. The question is, what do you really want from this situation? Do you want to keep going with it? Because it's kind of saying, you don't have to go through this again. You have the ability to make a choice. And I feel like for a lot of you who are really going to click with this, maybe when you clicked on this video, in the very beginning you thought you had to do something. But when I pointed out that you could change your mind, you're like, well, I know that. I feel like part of you, some of you probably literally said that out loud. Well, I know that. But I don't have to do it again. I know that. And the question is coming in all right, if you know that, if you're going to choose to stay, why are you choosing to stay? I feel like that's what this reading is trying to get you to ask yourself. Whatever your answer is, as long as you come to your answer, you can make peace with that. That's fine. And this might be a really hard reading for some of you because it's kind of I don't really want to answer that question, because if I answer that question, it may take me another direction that I'm not sure if I should go for some reason. There might be a guilt quotient there. Quotient? Sure. You're not just going to jump out of the boat in 5 seconds. You got to get close enough to land before you do that. But it's kind of now's the time to start thinking about it. What do you really want? Does this situation still make you happy? Do you really feel like this is where you need to be? Do you feel like you're the only one who can do it? And if you really look at that closer, is that true? Or is that maybe what other people are trying to push on you to get you to stay? Or is that what you kind of told yourself in the beginning to get yourself to stay? Keep that in mind. It's up to you if that's true or not. What do you really want? Because you've done good. You've done a lot. You don't have to keep doing this. You will be a part of the stabilizing of the next cycle, but it's kind of like the beginning of fall is what I'm getting. It's the beginning of fall, and you might have some roles to play with that. But once that beginning of fall starts, justice reversed, and then the Ten of Cups reversed, you're going to see you're out. Now, it's like the beginning of fall is what I keep getting. Is that like it's starting to burn out. It's getting a little bit more obvious. Like we're heading. It's kind of like where I am. It's like end of October into November, kind of Scorpio season, if you will. You're definitely showing signs of like you're definitely in fall, and things are getting colder. Maybe it's not the coldest outside right now, but it's definitely there. And it's kind of like we're heading towards that winter time. It's gonna show up soon. When that part happens, that's when you have your moment where you can start, handing off responsibilities to other people. Kind of like, you know what, hey y'all, I made my decision. This was great, and I've done a lot, and I feel like I've done everything I could. Well, when I say great, you know what I mean. I feel like we all work together well, but I've made a decision. I think I'm done. Or you probably wouldn't say it that way. You'd probably be more like, I am done. So I'm going to start handing this off to this person, handing this off to that person. And it's kind of like literally not letting people hand it back to you. If you'd make that decision that you're going to let go of this. Because there's a lot of random energy around this when this happens. You also know how to corral that to make sure that they keep their responsibilities. Kind of like, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be here. So that's your new responsibility. You need to do that. Don't hand it back to me because I'm not going to be here anymore. And there's this weird energy where I feel like I'm used to doing things and there's this knee-jerk reaction to just help people, to just pick up the pieces. It's like I might not be doing the full part of the job. How do I explain this? It's like I'm not making the full dinner, but maybe I'm doing the grocery shopping and I'm helping with the dishes. It's kind of like, no, they have to have that part too. You can't be doing the grocery shopping. You can't be doing the dishes. They need to own the whole thing because you're not going to be there to do it. So they're saying, don't do that part. Let people realize that it's not fun and that they have to own all the pieces of it. Maybe they don't like doing the shopping. Maybe they don't like doing the dishes. Well, that's part of the situation. That's what they need to do. And you need to let them do it while you're still there, because that way if they stumble and fall and they don't plan it well or they don't handle it well and things don't get cleaned correctly or things don't get bought the way they should or they buy something too soon and something rots or they buy it too soon and it's not ripe enough. You buy, for example, bananas, or just say you want to make banana bread, you buy it too soon, it's not ready, it's got to ripen up just to a certain point before you can really make a good banana bread. You can speak to it and be like, all right, well, you bought these were they're a little too raw. They're not ready yet. They need to ripen some more. So you're going to have to wait or go buy some other ones. Talk to it, but don't do it for them. Be sure that that's something you keep in mind because you'll be more helpful that way in the long run. And I feel like this is a situation you want to succeed long run wise. If I didn't say that in a weird way. So keep in mind, don't just pick up the pieces and just, they need help with that, so I'll just do it. Don't do that. Talk to it and be like, all right, those bananas too raw. You're either gonna have to wait or you're gonna have to go buy some other ones. And you're gonna look for some little brown spots, not a crazy amount, but there should be a couple little brown spots. Or if you find some with a lot of brown on them, they're probably ready. So you could do that if you're gonna make the banana bread today. You could use those ones. Talk to it that way. Put yourself on the outside of this situation. It may seem counterintuitive, but if you want to dismount from this, and I feel like you do, for those people this is going to hit with, put yourself on the outside. Just let it happen. Don't pay attention to what's going on. Put yourself on the outside of the situation. I feel like you'll still be there for a reference, but for example, I know some people do this. They give like a 2-month leeway for like if they're leaving a job, if they really love the job, they're like, well, I'll give you 2 months notice. So the first month I'm helping y'all get into this. The second month, the first month I'm talking to it, I'm actually being proactive and I'm letting you know if I'm seeing something is wrong. The last month you have to come to me. If you don't come to me, I'm not gonna go out of my way to help you. You have to come and ask me for help because that's part of this. Put yourself on the outside. Don't socialize with it. Don't start conversations with it. Make them start conversations with you. Put yourself on the outside of it. Like, don't even go to lunch with people, that is what I'm getting for some of you. Like, just, I got other things to do, got to do some shopping during lunch, got to do these other things, got to balance my checkbook during lunch, whatever you got to do, whatever that would be for you. Maybe that's a dated thing, because I know a lot of people do that online now, so however that works. Take yourself out, put yourself on the outside, make them come to you. I get the Lover's card with this, like, it's not going to hurt you to be on the outside, because it's like you're making this transition anyway. By staying out of it and not actively coming into it makes the situation a lot easier. People are going to appreciate you, but I feel like people are going to have that confidence too. For example, I don't know, I'm giving this 2-month leeway. It's like, I don't think that's normal for people to do that all the time, but the first month I'm telling people what I see is wrong and I'm being proactive. The second month, nope, you have to come to me. People will get that strength. They'll know that they can do it. Having that month or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, having that time where they can come to you if they need to, that'll give them the confidence to where if they do feel like they're out of balance, they can come to you and ask. But they won't come to you unless they feel like they actually need to. It'll create a lot of strength in the situation and give people the confidence they need. I get passion. There is a confidence card here in this deck, but I'm not seeing it out here, but I'm getting like, it will bring up their strength and they'll be a lot happier. They'll be a lot stronger with it. I know it says passion. It'll help them with their own passion. Something new will come in for you after this. I don't feel like this is just like you're done and you're just going to sit in a chair for the rest of your life. I don't see that happening. But by successfully shutting this down and stepping out of this, I feel like it says judgment, which yes, but stepping out of this Phoenix cycle, stepping out of that, it does bring in something that you want. So whatever you're letting go of, something else will replace it. But I don't feel like we have that Phoenix cycle anymore. So you're going into something new, something fulfilling for you. So maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're leaving the teaching profession, you don't want to teach anymore, but maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you're creating textbooks now. Maybe you're, being a secondary level of like giving people advice who do teach. You're not being the teacher, but you're coaching people who are teachers. Maybe you're going into like the principal type thing. I don't know. You're going into an upgrade to where you're doing something different, something that is still entertaining, something that still keeps your brain going, but something that is more suiting for this point in life for you. So keep that in mind because it's a really good ending. Something else is going to come in out of this afterwards. It's not, again, I don't see you just sitting in the chair just going blah, 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 blah. No, you're going to be doing things. You're going to definitely have a busy life still. So I feel like that is very good. Anything else? No, I think we're done. I'm going to shut this down here. Hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.